We were in training camp, about I think 5th or 6th practice in, second week, and then we were running team. So I fit up with a 400-pound O-lineman. Considering I can't see around him, I peeked out and I saw a running back come downhill, so kind of just threw all football knowledge out the window and tried to make a tackle down low, and he drove his knee through my head. I was on the ground, next thing I know, come to, and there's 4 people standing around me, so I was kind of knocked out. And yeah, welcome to university football. I was feeling not myself, a little droggy, foggy, was a little dizzy. At first I didn't really tell anyone, so I just continued to tough it out, but after I just really wasn't feeling too good. First they brought me through a concussion test, baseline concussion symptom test, and then after that they basically told me that I did have one. They just told me to go home, rest, and chill in a dark room by myself.
I am Dr. David Grimes. I am the Chair and Chief of the Division of Neurology within the Department of Medicine at the University of Ottawa and the Ottawa Hospitals. So concussion is an injury to the brain, and so the other common name that a concussion, or the medical term that's used, is a mild traumatic brain injury. And so it's where you've sustained some damage to your brain, but in general we don't identify any clear structural problems that happen. The feeling is that you've caused either sort of micro damage. So if we did MRI scans on most people who have mild traumatic brain injuries, we don't see any damage that occurs, but clearly there's been a temporary disconnection. And so the ways the cells normally would communicate is interrupted from the traumatic force. The vast majority of people who have a concussion go back to full functioning and don't have any problems. But again, that depends on the severity of the injury. And so if you've sustained a more significant injury, then you are at more risk of having the post-concussion syndrome, where you potentially have trouble with concentration, you might have mood issues, have other physical problems, balance issues, that kind of thing.
I met with a doctor from Halifax that she came down and evaluated some of the seriously injured guys, and we went through the same test. She was teaching some kin students, so they basically brought me through the same test and gave me diagnosis and all these really weird tests. And then I mentioned that my mom said that maybe it was best for me to come home because I wasn't going to class. I was just chilling in my room and wasting so much money. So she agreed that it wouldn't be a terrible idea and actually be better, because that way I wouldn't fail out of school and be ineligible for the next season. So we kind of just agreed that it'd be best if I came home for the semester. My mom's kind of a strict, well, not strict, but she's not very good with injuries. If she can't see it, she can't gauge it. Rule as a kid, if it ain't broken or bleeding, get up. Basically how it went. And since she can't see this, she can't gauge it. I act all happy and I try to get out and be social, but eventually I came home one day and came home from the airport and she's like, when are you going to the gym? Right away.
I'm a bit of a strict mom, and Alex and I have been attached at the hip basically since he was born. It was me and him against the world. So taking that trip out to Nova Scotia, driving 16 hours, dropping him off at campus, meeting the coaches, seeing the other players on the field, it was a huge experience. So needless to say, I think I cried the first 4 hours back. Yeah, I'm even getting choked up now. He got choked up too. And then he seemed fine for the first 3 days. I was constantly FaceTiming him and stalking him and making sure he was doing all these things. And then all of a sudden, I got a text saying, I failed the concussion baseline test. And I was like, what does that mean? I don't even understand what that means. So then I called him and he said he went in for a tackle and he woke up with a crowd around him. I called him at school and I said, okay, you're coming home and that's good. You have a concussion, but just so you know, we have a doctor's appointment Tuesday morning. I need to understand what I can push you to do. I don't want you to fall behind. And then he responded with, well, I've already talked to Mario and Sketch, and I'm going to go back to coaching. And I was like, well, you're not home yet. He's like, I know, but I fly in Sunday. They know I'll be back on the field on Monday. So this is where it kind of goes back to the game of football and how it's created this person that gives back to his community, and he loves those coaches. Everyone's like, are you gonna put Connor in football? And I'm like, I don't know. I just don't know. Watching him be black and blue like that and risking his brain, I just, I don't know. We'll see how it plays out with Alex before I make that decision. The motivation is gone. That is the difference between the Alex that left and the Alex that's here now. The Alex prior would be at the gym every day for 3 or 4 hours, or he'd be training. I keep like, okay, I'm gonna get a gym membership. It's time. The doctor said you could move November 1st. Well, it's now November 4th, and he'll be like, well, I'm gonna take a walk instead. And that's not the Alex we know.
Well, basically that's going to be my number one fear, is getting back into contact, especially because I won't be back till next year, which we'll redo 2-a-days, and 2-a-days is just full, well, no. We have contact periods, but realistically I'm going to be a little timid getting back in because I'm going up against guys that are 4 to 5 years older than me, and had my ankle reconstructed. I've had a bunch of stingers on my arms, and I just keep coming back. And I don't know, I just really like football and really want to see how far I can take it, but the game has to end sometime. I just don't want it to be within the next 3 years.